Hey everybody, I'm Super Nellies, and I wanted to make a quick video detailing some useful Pokemon you may want to prep for the upcoming Cinderace Tera raids. From December 30th to January 1st, and again from January 13th to 15th starting at double knot UTC, which is 7 PM Eastern on the 29th and 12th respectively, Cinderace will be available in 7-star Tera raids. If you're new to Scarlet and Violet, to access the 7-star raids, you'll need to first accomplish some post-game events. Complete all 3 paths, do the 4th path, beat the ACE tournament, and clear out 15 5-star Tera raids. Once these criteria are met, you can access your 7-star raids. You'll get 1 raid daily during the events. Like the Charizard raid, you'll only be able to capture Cinderace once, but you can run the raid multiple times to get more items and treasure / Tera shards, etc. Of note, Cinderace will also be shiny locked. However, you can Masuda method breed it, like Charizard, to get your shiny Scorbunny. Cinderace will have the Fighting Tera type, which is kinda fitting given its Sword and Shield pre-release speculation, so it'll be weak to Flying, Psychic, and Fairy type attacks. Cinderace is more of a physical sweeper style Pokemon, meaning it doesn't have much in the way of defenses, but hits hard physically, so you'll want to bring a physically bulky Pokemon that can withstand the onslaught. That being said, Cinderace has an even 75 base in its defense and special defense, meaning it's not preferential to take in a physical or special attacker over one or the other. A huge shout out to PkmnCast, as they were the ones to put this list together, which I originally saw on Instagram, but also to AustinJohnPlays, as they did a breakdown on a potential other option to use for this event. First things first, don't expect to be able to get away with a Sylveon, Dashbun, or an Azumarill, as Cinderace does have access to Gunk Shot, a 120 base power physical attack that will likely hit your Fairy type Pokemon really hard. Like other Tera Raid Pokemon, it's expected that this will have a wide attack set to cover some potential weaknesses, and Gunk Shot, being such a high base power, is likely in there. With that out of the way, you'll want to bring one of these 6 Pokemon with you into the raids. First up is Slowbro, a fairly defensive, bulky Pokemon you'll mainly be attacking with Psychic and setting up your Psychic Train and Nasty Plot when you can, and slacking off to keep your health topped up. I like this one because you don't need to worry about its ability, as any of the available abilities will be sufficient. Another potential option would be to remove Psychic Train for Slowbro and replace it with Chilling Water. That way you get a secondary stab that also lowers the attack of Cinderace. Next up is Armarouge. You'll want your Armarouge to have Flash Fire as its preferred ability, as this, much like Dashbun's well-baked body, will remove fire damage. Expanding Force will be your main damage, and like Slowbro, you can use Psychic Train to eliminate priority moves and increase your damage to Cinderace. Now, if you're playing with others online and you'll know that they'll have Reflect or Psychic Train, I would recommend adding in Clear Smog or Calm Mind, with Clear Smog potentially having more benefit to a party, as Cinderace could have Bulk Up, Focus Energy, or Work Up in its raid moveset, and Clear Smog would eliminate those stat ups. We also have Cerulegde in this list. Again, Flash Fire is the preferred ability to eliminate any fire damage during the raid. Unlike Armarouge, which has a bit more of a support / all-rounder, Cerulegde is just all attack. So, go with Bitter Blade and Psycho Cut, and then your stat up. From an item perspective, you may want to use Metronome, since you'll just be using the same move over and over again to attack. An interesting one to look at is Pelipper. Pelipper will be mainly using Drizzle or Rain Dance to have a guaranteed Hurricane, as Hurricanes never miss when it's raining in Pokemon. Setting up Rain will also have the damage of Fire type moves coming from Cinderace. The only downside is that if Cinderace has Electro Ball, it is 4 times effective against Pelipper, which is a slower Pokemon, likely roasting the Pelican mid-flight. Another option to look at is Bronzong. With Bronzong's Heat Proof, with Bronzong's ability Heat Proof, it will not be immune to fire moves, but it will essentially give it a water typing, as it cuts damage from fire in half and burn in half as well. Stored Power would be the more powerful option attack-wise as you increase your stats, but going with Zen Headbutt may be the more consistent damage for in raids. Lastly, Arcanine is an option you might want to look at. You'd likely use Arcanine as a support Pokemon with this build, lending helping hands to the team to get in some big chunk damage, charming Cinderace to lower its damage while howling to boost your own, and then hitting with Psychic Fang. Flash Fire will again be the preferred ability, again to make yourself immune to Cinderace's fire type moves. You also want to have a Psychic Tera type to get the boost to damage for Psychic Fangs, so hopefully you'll get lucky and have one from a Tera raid, or have a spare 50 Tera shards laying around. A general move to keep in mind if you're not using one of these 6 Pokemon is that Cinderace may use its signature move Court Change once its shield breaks, similar to how the Charizard would use Sunny Day to activate its Solar Power hidden ability. So with this in mind, having Brick Break or Psychic Fangs, a la Arcanine, on one of the Pokemon in the raid may be useful if it does use Court Change and it switches your team's reflex to its side. As with prepping for any Tera raid, you'll want to make sure your Pokemon have been Hyper Trained if they need it, and you'll want to EV train their HP for survivability and whichever attacks that they will benefit most from. Example for me, Slowbro, we're going to go with Special Attack, with some exceptions for Arcanine and Pelipper. You'll want to invest 252 EVs in defense and HP instead to be bulkier and live longer in their more support roles. There are likely much more Pokemon you can bring into this raid. Some honorable mentions that come to mind are certainly Slowking, essentially a slightly less physically defensive Slowbro, or a bulky Gastrodon, as it currently looks like Cinderace wouldn't have anything that would hit Gastrodon too hard. Cinderace does have access to Trailblaze in its Scarlet and Violet move pool, but it's unlikely to have it given how low powered it is. Potentially could even use an Espeon with Reflect, Psychic, Tickle, and Baby Doll Eyes. Espeon Synchronize is also good at bouncing Burn back into Cinderace to have its attack stat. AustinJohnPlays is planning to use an Espartha, which could be built out using Opportunist as its ability, a Shell Bell as its held item, then using Lumina Crash, Calm Mind, Helping Hand, and Reflect as its move pool. This is possibly a solid option if you want to run this event solo or in a group. This is a rough starting point for some Pokemon you can prep for the upcoming Similar Tera raid. Once we know what Cinderace's move pool is, we can make corrections and have a more optimized raid build, and I'll likely make a follow-up video to outline that. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Enjoy hunting Cinderace.